Mr. Ahmed Didat, we have explored your background in South Africa, where you've come from, and we are now very interested in the fact that I have heard that you are one of the most, not advanced, deepest, best, what is the adjective, that you know as much about the Christian religion and Bible and as much about Judaism as you do about Islam, and that your message is not to be divisive,
yes,
but to point out what's good. Let me just ask you,
yes, ma'am.
Speak to us. Where do you find this healing force?
You see, our belief is that the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims, in their origin, these three religions are Semitic religions, and they have a common background in Father Abraham. The Jew respects Father Abraham, the Christian respects him, and the Muslim respects him, and we all claim a common heritage coming from Father Abraham. And I believe that it is the same religion. You see, whether you call it Judaism, Christianity, or Islam, to me these are not three separate religions. It is the same religion on different levels. The titles were given by man with regard to the term Judaism, because I've been asking Jews, Jewish learned men, that this word Judaism, is it to be found in the Torah? They says no. Is it in your Talmud? He says no. Is it in your Mishnah? He says no. And so where did you get it? Most of them are puzzled. Where did the word Judaism originate? As is Christianity, is this in the Bible? Any Bible? Does it speak that the religion preached by Jesus Christ was Christianity? No. So where does this term come from? The very first time the word Christian was used, we read in the New Testament, was at Antioch, when the enemies of the followers of Jesus, disparagingly they pointed to them, saying that these are Christians, meaning the worshippers of Christ. But Christ never heard the word Christian, and Christ never heard the word Christianity. And I go beyond and I say, Christ never heard the word Christ in his lifetime.
But didn't he say, I and the Father are one,
yes.
And therefore doesn't that mean in Judaism, me talking about this, but doesn't that mean that if I and the Father are one, that Spirit is immanent in me, and that therefore he would be the Christ? Or that he would acknowledge himself as being the Christ that was foreseen by the Jews? How am I doing, Mother?
No, Christ, you see the term Christ, it comes from the word Messiah, the Hebrew word Messiah. The Hebrew word Messiah, Arabic, Masih, is the same word, same root form, going back to the word Masaha in Hebrew and Arabic, which means one who is anointed, rubbed over, massaged. Mm-hmm. Priests and kings were anointed in consecration to their offices, mm-hmm. like a coronation ceremony or like a gowning ceremony. So when a person was officially appointed to a certain status, he was the Messiah, the anointed one. Hebrew word Messiah, translated into Greek, Christos, from which they lopped off the os and left you with Christ.
Then what is Christ in Islam?
Yes. In Islam we accept that Jesus was the Christ, meaning he was the one that was promised by God Almighty to come to the Jews and reform the Jews. Now, when he came, he claimed that he was the Messiah, from which we get the word Christ, through the word Christos, and from which again we get the word Christianity. But the word Christ was never heard by Jesus in his lifetime, because this is a Greek word. He said, I am the Messiah. Mm-hmm. He didn't say, I am the Christ in Greek, because he's talking to the Jews, a Jewish prophet coming to Jews, speaking that Jewish language, Hebrew or Aramaic.
He did, Aramaic, I thought.
Aramaic, yes. So while he's speaking, he's saying in his own language is that I am the Messiah, the anointed one, the chosen one. But his people didn't recognize him. They insinuated that he was an impostor, and as such, they had him hanged on the cross. Mm-hmm. The Muslim attitude is that he was the true messenger of God, and he was the Messiah. And more than that he was born miraculously, without any male intervention, and that he gave life to the dead by God's permission, and he healed those born blind and the lepers by God's permission. So we are going further than the Jews in the acceptance of Jesus Christ.
Do you have any Jewish friends?
Yes, I do have, and I also reason with them.
Are you sure you have Jewish friends?
Yes, I do have, ma'am. I worked for Jews for a number of years, and we had fantastic relationship, ma'am. And I have addressed Jewish audiences, and they seem to respond beautifully, to my messages.
Okay.